Shalom, Kol Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachak Wadash and Shanyukabad Gadwala Rakwab Zakwanyam Nawa Wa Shalayakim Nawa. That's double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, Shalom, Wa Barakim Labakaryam Shaliyasharala, and that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. I wanted to make a quick video concerning a phrase that a brother told me a few days ago, and this particular brother is in I'll just call it a very heavy trial right now for him. And throughout this trial, obviously, like all of us, he's getting through by having these words and holding them dear unto him. As the scriptures say, hold fast that which you have. Which are these words? This knowledge and wisdom. And so with that being said, I'm talking to him and he says, yeah, man, I really see how these words are our lifeline. I really understand it. I feel it. And so I said, wow, I took a step back and I definitely took a note in my phone. I knew I wanted to come back and make a video on that phrase, Lord's will. And so I wanted to specifically speak about this phrase because it's very important concerning the end days and Jacob's trouble that could very well hit this year. Who knows, but it's possible. And so that's going to be a time where there's anarchy. And as we always say, all hell is going to break loose. And this knowledge and wisdom that we have from the scriptures, from the word, is going to truly show how valuable and precious it is in that day when you have certain men and women that are relaxed, that are chill, that are calm, level-headed, thinking properly, and making proper decisions, using discernment, ultimately using the wisdom that we've been given. And so we're going to be, Lord's will, set apart from those people as we are right now, but it's going to be made known and shown even more in that day. And so the scriptures are a lifeline right now, and that's going to really be made manifested during the time of Jacob's trouble. That's why this phrase is important. So with that being said, I'm going to start here in the book of Proverbs chapter 4, and I'll start reading at verse 20. The point is at verse 22. Verse 20 says, my son, attend to my words, incline thine ear unto my sayings. Let them not depart from thine eyes, keep them in the midst of thine heart. For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Yeah, these words, they literally are giving us life, like they're actually giving us spiritual nutrients. And those spiritual nutrients are keeping us alive. They're, wisdom, knowledge, of course, understanding, fear of the Lord, faith, as I mentioned already, discernment. All these spiritual gifts that we're being given are nutrients that are sustaining us on a day-to-day basis, and they're going to heighten. Our senses will be heightened in these days moving forward, all because we're being diligent and staying in this word right now. The Lord is going to seal that in us, and we're going to be able to grab these words and use the wisdom and draw from our experiences in these troublesome days to come. So now I want to jump over to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verses 19 and 20. Verse 19 says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. And how do you choose life? By diving into these words. That's how you choose life. Life is written all throughout these scriptures. People that do not have this knowledge and wisdom, the proper knowledge and wisdom and understanding from these words, they know nothing but death. And that's the absolute 100% truth. It's a fact. They know nothing but death because only the proper knowledge of these scriptures teaches you how to sustain yourself, especially as we're in captivity right now. And I'm referring to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans. We'll worry about the other nations once we're actually under the new covenant and we're changed, right? When we're taken care of. But as of right now, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, I'll say the hopeful elect amongst us, we're choosing life by getting into these words. Everybody else, they know nothing but death, which is what they're taught from Esau, Edom, the man of sin. Now, verse 20 says, so it says, choose life, right? That both thou and thy seed may live, verse 20. That thou mayest love the Lord thy God, or power, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life. The Lord is our life. It says, in the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. It's not just Abraham to you Christians. It was passed down to Isaac, that blessing, and it was also given to Jacob for a covenant. And it says to give them, referring to the land. But remember, the Lord is our lifeline. Because if you're not pleasing the Lord, if we're not being obedient unto him, what happens to us? As a nation, what's happened to us over and over again? We were put into captivity. We were put into slavery, subjection under these other nations. And the Lord whipped us spiritually. Okay, look, you want to go off and worship these other gods? You don't want to give me the glory, praise, and honor? Cool. So he took, his holy hedge from off of us, tongue twister, and put us up under these other nations. Now look at us right now. We're in the, I'll call it basically the worst captivity that we've ever been in. And I'm referring to Babylon the Great entirety, from the moment that we came over here in cargo slave ships up until now. The shackles are off of our feet and our wrists or whatever, but look at us still. So-called land of the free. That's what they call America, right? But look at our people living in ghettos, right? The worst foods are around us. McDonald's and Burger King is mainly what the average J can afford, so they have to eat it, forced to eat it. Crap like that. Terrible education. A lot of our people can't even get health care. And we're in the low of the low right now. But once again, the hopeful elect, we're finding life through these words. It's sustaining us even in captivity right now. That's how powerful these words are. They're sustaining us even in captivity. My mouth is a little dry right now. Right, because I mentioned we have to be obedient unto the Lord. So this is Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus, chapter 19, verse 18. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. This knowledge and wisdom that's going to lead to our change. It's going to lead to being delivered, new bodies, being in the chariots. If we're those men, 144,000 will be crowned. And ultimately, as a nation, we're not going to know death anymore. So we're not in the second covenant right now, but it's coming. We're under grace right now, mercy. That's the period that we're in right now. But when that new covenant comes, that's what we're looking forward to. That's when we can truly, finally rejoice, finally put on a real smile, not have to front, no more faking it, no more pain, no more tears, nothing. But it starts right now. The kingdom of heaven starts with this knowledge and this wisdom. That's why the scriptures say the kingdom of heaven is in you, because what's in us is the word that's sustaining us. It just comes full circle. And Yahushua even told this to Satan when he came and tempted him. Matthew 4, I'll start reading at verse 1 down to 4. It says, Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Now, of course, this is talking about spiritually, because you got 2/3 out there living. As a matter of fact, they're living their best lives. They are, right? They're living it up with Esau, Edom, in his kingdom, and they don't want anything to change. So they're living. So what is this talking about? It's talking about, once again, being sustained spiritually by this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. The fruits of wisdom, those nutrients that are keeping us alive right now, they're going to be truly made manifest, and they're going to be shown how valuable they really are during the time of Jacob's trouble. Then we're going to really see who's living. Watch. When we're the ones eating, Lord's will. When we're the ones drinking, Lord's will. When we're the ones sheltered and protected, of course, Lord's will. Once again, just showing humility. Then we're going to see who's actually living and smiling and living their best lives in that day. No doubt it's going to be uncomfortable, but for the most part, we're going to be rejoicing, knowing that we're that much closer to the kingdom of heaven being established here on earth. We're looking forward to these times of trouble, actually. They have to happen. We're looking forward to it. So we definitely are praying and hoping that all prophecies are fulfilled this year. That would be lovely. It'd be great. I was going to grab John chapter 6, but, I think the point was made with those precepts. And I'll just jump over to it so you can see. If you want to read it, you can start reading from like around 51 all the way down. Yahweh Shai was just talking about, giving an analogy, referring to himself. I'm not going to give it away. If you're going to read it, get into it. You should be able to understand it after watching this video. But don't want to make this any longer. I believe the point was made. So I pray that it was edifying to the elect. Call Haloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakwadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.